left. That's the problem.
The battle is not only playing out in New York, but across the country. We are seeing socialist victories in Seattle, Washington, D.C., L.A., and on Capitol Hill, with far-left candidates raising millions, building national followings, gaining influence inside the Democrat Party. Joining me now is Florida Congresswoman Maria Salazar. Great to see you, Congresswoman. Thank you for being here. And your parents were Cuban exiles, so you have a unique perspective on the catastrophic effects of socialism. Thanks for being here.
Catastrophic. Thank you very much for having me. And I'm so concerned because we know it in my district, District 27, the city of Miami. I'm the daughter of political refugees who drank the Kool-Aid and thought that socialism was good. And so what's going to happen? America, the largest city in the United States, is now in the hands of socialists. So I'm going to be serving probably in Congress next cycle with people who believe that death to America, that veterans are war criminals, that everything is for free and no one really needs to pay for it, and that we're a despicable country in the Western civilization. And so wake up, Republican Party. We are the only choice in town.
Where are they getting these ideas, and why do they think this is going to work?
Well, that's a very good question, because they believe in the theory, not in the practice. And that's the problem with socialism, with Marxism. And that is the very big problem. Just said the Democratic Socialist Organization of America is the one pushing these ideas. And they're Marxists. And, you know, they never ran out of promises. They only ran out of food, medicine, electricity, and water. But by that time, it's too late. And something that I was telling you before is that Hispanics did not vote for socialists in New York City, where you live. If you look specifically New York 13, where Espaillat, who had been in Congress for 5 cycles, good friend of mine on the Democratic side, moderate, progressive, he was taken out by a girl who's a 32-year-old girl who doesn't really have any type of experience in governing or in the public office. And she is saying death to America. But look, the Upper Manhattan was the one who voted for her. Whiter, more educated, wealthier, newer voters. The typical middle class, working class of Hispanics did not vote, because we know what socialism looks like. So that's why I'm saying, and I've told you, the Republican Party needs to know that there's a voting bloc that we need to attract so we can win elections again.
Yeah, but, I mean, Congressman, the Republican Party has its own issues, right? I mean, another challenge on the Hill, as a group of hardline conservatives have shut down floor activities until Congress takes up the Save America Act. Watch this.
I'm not going to support Senate legislation. They are intentionally putting stuff on the floor via suspension because they know that they cannot unlock the floor. I'm not the only member of Congress doing this. And right now you have the Senate actively, literally spitting in the face of the American people. This is an 80-20 issue. And so I'm not going to come up here and waste any more time.
And that's Anna Paulina Luna. It's putting the House's ability to do anything next week in serious jeopardy. The president is urging House Republicans to stay unified and open the floor for votes.
That is correct. But then one thing has nothing to do with the other. I do agree that we need to have voter ID when you go vote. You have to show an ID when you go vote. But at the same time, we need to pass the affordability housing. One thing has nothing to do with the other. But the problem is that we have such little majority. We have a majority of 2 votes. And most Americans do not understand that if 2 of us, Republicans, do not vote with that legislation that is being brought up to the floor, then it doesn't pass. That's why we need to expand our majority. That's why we need to bring new voters. And everything has to do with elections. If we win elections, we can change the rules and we can change legislation. But if we don't, and that is why I'm so concerned, not only what happened in your city, in New York City, which sends a ripple effect all throughout the United States. Socialism is a virus that is now, you may have some victims in New York or in California, but then it's going to spread all over the country. And the problem is that at the end is like once you are in that cage, it's very difficult to be able to get out. Look at Venezuela right there after 25 years. You know, look, Latin America, El Salvador, Argentina, Chile, Bolivia, Peru, and now Colombia, they have repudiated socialism. Just think about this. Our backyard is saying no to socialism, and in-house in the United States, because we're wealthier, we're whiter, we're more educated, we're saying yes to those failed policies.
Unbelievable.
May the Lord save us.
A minute ago, you said that the Republicans need to understand which group to go after. What group are you referring? You're saying Hispanics are with the Republicans, and you need to bring them further into the fold?
Yes, yes. We got to wake up. Republicans, we are the only choice. There are only two parties in this country, the Dems that are now penetrated by the socialists, and the moderates are not going to be able to really do anything because they're going to be eaten up alive. And then Republicans, we're not perfect, but we're not communists. And what I'm saying to my party, and I'm going to say it even more stronger, is that if you do not keep the swing voting bloc called the Hispanics, the largest minority and the fastest growing minority in the country, we're going downhill because Hispanics, 60 million votes available, do understand that these policies, they're beautiful in theory and they're miserable in practice. We can stop that flood, and that is why I'm saying wake up. And I want to say it even further. You know that I sat with you and I explained to you that we got to bring immigration reform. Give them dignity. Do not give them citizenship.
Let me switch gears, get your take on this major fraud busts continuing. The DOJ this week announced an historic $6.5 billion healthcare fraud takedown, charging over 450 individuals, including more than 90 doctors across 45 states for false Medicare and Medicaid claims. The stolen taxpayer money was also allegedly used to buy Ferraris, Rolex watches, an $865,000 Bulgari diamond necklace, and even a multi-million-dollar beach resort in the Philippines, Congresswoman. Your take?
Well, if you are breaking the law and you're defrauding Medicare or Medicaid, you should spend the rest of your days in jail, whether you're illegal, white, brown, whatever. So no one is above the law. I'm talking about that you got to follow the rules and make it very strict for those, even stricter for those who do not have papers.
We so appreciate your time. Thank you, Congresswoman.